Okay. How many times I look at myself going up and putting my face real close to the camera. We'll wait a couple of seconds here and see if we can get a couple of people on. What's up, Megan?
What are you doing, Meg?
Justice is like, wait, Mom's talking to the camera, and she's got another dog. I got another dog.
Since that's my best friend.
His poor little red lips from his allergies.
So why is she out there? I'm not. It's not fair.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Carrie Galvan. I'm owner here at Precious K9s in Battlefield, Missouri. And I have one of our trainers, Lisa, with us here today, and she's going to talk to you guys a little bit about therapy and tricks. And we have Megan with us today, and she's just going to be cute through the whole thing and probably make us laugh 15 times. So we will talk about the classes that you can take to get to the things that Lisa is talking about. I know we have a lot of people who've been interested in therapy, and we have been shut down, obviously, because of COVID. We've been partnered up with Hospice Compasses. Hospice now?
No,
Compasses now. I knew they had pulled one of the names off. We've been partnered with Compasses for 4 years, I believe 4 years now. And so the last year, we haven't been able to do a lot of therapy. Megan and Lisa, and I'm sure it's something Lisa will talk about, they have been back at their therapy job for the last few months, and of course there's more restrictions and stuff, but we're starting to open up and we're starting to get back out there. So if you're interested in therapy with us, or you're interested in what a therapy program is, stay tuned. And I'm just going to turn it over to Lisa and let her start talking to you about what her and Megan do and how you guys can do some of the things she does.
So I thought I would give you a little bit of background about Megan and I, how we became a therapy team. I'm from California and moved here in '94. And in the early 90s, late 80s, therapy teams were starting to become prevalent in Southern California. And you saw them mostly in nursing homes, hospital settings. And I always thought that would be something I would like to do because, you know, serving people and then also having a dog with you, what could be better than that? So when we moved to Missouri, I wanted to get into therapy work. And we had a yellow lab as a puppy, and I thought she would be great. Well, then I just got too busy with my work, and I knew it just wouldn't be something I could do at the time being. We had her for 13 years, and in 2013, she passed away, and we wanted to get another dog. And at that time, I was slowed down in my work, and I thought this might be a good time to really look into doing therapy work. So we found Megan at Tri-Lakes Humane Society. So she is a rescue. She's not a purebred. She's lab and boxer, and that's how we found out was doing a DNA test on her. She was about 18 months old when we got her, a very young 18 months. She didn't know anything. She was straight off the streets. I didn't know anything about it. So we found, I started looking at dog training companies. I found Carrie at her previous company. So we started out at their basic level, which is equivalent to our old Paws In because she was older. So I took that a couple sessions, and then we just progressed our way through training. We started in tricks, which is where it kind of the light bulb went off with us as far as training and learning how to work with each other and teamwork. So we started with tricks and worked our way through everything that we could take, whether it was rally obedience or just more loose leash walking, a lot of tricks. And then finally we took their therapy class that Carrie offered. And took that, I believe, twice, which is not unusual, which is something we'll talk about a little later. Very usual when you have to repeat therapy because it's just a lot more involved than you think it is. And so finally we were ready to become a therapy team. I had investigated and researched and found that Pet Partners was the choice for me as far as a therapy organization. We first evaluated with them in November of 2015. We passed and we became a therapy team.
We did not, because my dog decided he didn't know how to down all of a sudden.
Right. That was an odd day.
All of a sudden, he was like 10 years old, and he was, service dog trained, like trained to the T, and he's just like, I'm not gonna lay down. And that's how it goes sometimes with any kind of working dog. Some days they have good days and some days they don't.
We drove up to Kansas City in a snowstorm, getting there, and then it was windy and it was cold, and I thought, Megan is just gonna be crazy, you know, and B was gonna nail it, and it just turned out to be the opposite.
Exact opposite.
You know, but that's how it goes with training, right? So anyway, we became a team, and Pep Partners reevaluates every 2 years. And so we've gone through 2 reevaluations since then. We started out in nursing home in Ozark with the help of Compasses because they partnered with us in our therapy classes. We visited with that home for the full year, and I decided I wanted to get into something in the legal arena since I was a court reporter. And I knew Megan probably would not be good in the courtroom, and that is something that is not really happening here in this area yet. But so I started looking at subsets. I found victim advocacy, and I thought, that's it. So I contacted the Victim Center here in Springfield. They are a nonprofit that offers free services to victims of violent crimes and sexual abuse. I contacted them and said, Megan and I would like to help. How can we do it? And so they welcomed us with open arms. So we've been visiting there now since September of 2016, and literally we're going twice a week until COVID last year. And we were shut down a couple of months, and we were able to start back up there, luckily, in April. Now we go once a week, and there's a lot of restrictions, but we feel very fortunate that we've been able to conduct our visits, because up until probably the last winter, less than 10% of Pet Partner teams across the country were able to even do in-person visits. So we were very lucky that we're able to do that, because therapy dogs need that contact and that interaction. And when they can't work, they get a little depressed. You know, they want to be able to see people. Megan has her AKC Therapy Dog Excellent title, which means she's done 200 plus visits, documented visits with AKC. The next one would be Therapy Dog Distinguished, which would be 400 visits. We're right at 300 now. So, you know, we may get there, we may not. It's not something that we worry about. It's just we accumulate those hours. I took a course recently in January with Pep Partners to become an AACR response team, which is Animal Assisted Crisis Response. So Megan and I could be deployed locally to any type of catastrophic event, which could be injustice, it's fine. It could be a school shooting, it could be a tornado, it could be a brush fire, and people are at evacuation centers. And it's all done locally, so we are certified as that team. I hope and pray we'd never have to use that, but it is good training for us with victim advocacy, because we use many of the same type of skills in our everyday therapy work that we do on a much smaller scale. And Justice is very upset because his BFF is out here and he's not. So I think that's about it as far as our background. I feel like I've been talking forever about this.
No, you're good.
I started helping Carrie with the therapy program back in, when did you use Precious K9s?
17.
In 17, but I think I started before that. Before that, because Carrie had her therapy program, and it was a smaller scale, and so we would start helping with that. And then Carrie said in 17, let's really work on this and, you know, expand this program. So we feel we have a really good curriculum. Our class, you know, our class program is very extensive. It's a 2-part program. It's actually 8 weeks total, but it's divided into 2 separate entities. One is therapy prep, and that is 4 weeks in the classroom, meaning here at the arena. We go through everything from grooming and how you dress and what you take with you on therapy visits. We talk about infection prevention and our protocols for staying safe on visits. We work on a lot of making your obedience skills more solid. So we want good stays and good settles.
Good leave-its.
Good leave-its are so important, because you can't have your dog picking up junk at a nursing home or any place. You're walking along an aisleway, you don't know what's on there. Not only loose leash walking, but close loose leash walking, because your dog is always with you. One of the tenets of therapy work is that your dog, you never let go of that leash. Your dog never leaves you. If your dog goes somewhere, you go with it. If you go somewhere, your dog comes with you. So you have to have really good handling skills, good backup. So we work on all of that. It's pretty extensive for 4 weeks.
It is.
It is, and we go through a lot of role playing, a lot of scenarios of what you might encounter in therapy visits. And one of the reasons that we haven't had the therapy prep class is because of COVID. It's not like our other classes here where we can space students out. We have to be in your space because your dog, you have to learn how to handle your dog with people around you. So it wasn't safe for us to do the therapy prep class. So once you get through those 4 weeks, if we feel that you're ready to go on to the second half, we have our Dogs with a Job. And that is our 4-week on-site course. We have partnered with Compasses. They've been great. Trisha Keltner is our volunteer coordinator. Hi Trisha, hope you're watching.
She probably is.
And she comes and does our orientation with us, and she also likes to watch because she likes to learn the teams and get to know them as well, the new students. So she sets up on-site visits for us at different nursing centers and skill centers. And so we actually take the teams in that second half on-site, and Carrie and I are with you, and you actually you do your therapy work, and you get to put into practice what hopefully you picked up in the therapy prep. And then at the end of that, you know, we really deem if you're ready to go on to be a therapy team, or maybe you need to redo Dogs with a Job, or even maybe therapy prep, you're not quite ready. Maybe your dog isn't as great on the obedience yet and a little young. We would recommend you take that over, and that is not unusual.
And we have had some people who have retaken all 8 weeks 4 times, just because even though they're an active therapy group for Precious K9s, and are you gonna talk about that? Even though they're an active group through us, they like the refresher each year, and they like the pointers, and it's really cool to see how the teams have grown. And we were having it like every 6 months, so it was like in 6 months you could see such a difference in the dogs. And then eventually, you know, in a year, you know, like us, it's going to be 2 years, and I know one of the teams is wanting to take the class again, and I'm excited to see how that team has progressed again too. So
well, and also you might have a team that has simply been doing reading, you know, reading buddy, and they want a refresher course. Hey, I'm going to go out into nursing homes now. I need a refresher course with that, because if you don't do that constantly, you know, your skills, you need to sharpen those up along with your dog. And your dog changes as they get older. And that is the big reason why Pet Partners requires reevaluations every 2 years, because dogs change as they get older. Handlers change. And there's a difference in Megan now she was when our first evaluation, which the word exuberant came up over and over and over on every exercise that we had done. They still passed her, but they felt like she was very exuberant and she needed to calm down, but they saw her potential. As dogs get older, they change, and maybe at first, a couple of years, they're great in nursing homes, but as they get older, maybe the stress, it's overload for them. So you transition them to another type of venue to visit at. So once you've gone through our 8-week course and we feel that you've passed both weeks, your next step would be to take the CGC, because we require that for our therapy teams. But most therapy organizations, and also if you want to do therapy work on your own, they're going to ask you for, are you certified, which Precious K9s does certify you because we provide training. But also they're going to ask you for your Canine Good Citizen. So that is a goal that all therapy teams—
or they should ask you.
Or they should.
For your Canine Good Citizen.
Yeah. They should ask you. So that is something that you would want to take, and then you're ready to go on and do what type of therapy work you want to do. There's many therapy organizations out there. If you choose to be part of a group, you don't need to be. Another thing we go over in our class in therapy prep is talking about insurance and the business end of it and what you need to know before you just go out and say, I'm gonna start volunteering. There's a lot more to it than just that my dog likes people. There's a whole lot more to it. We have our Precious K9s therapy teams. We're small right now. We had 2 or 3 teams that wanted to get going last year, and we had to kind of put the halt on that because of COVID. We didn't have the nursing homes to get the on-site training with. So it was just one of those things, and it's just stopped everybody in its tracks. But it's getting back more to normal. We're hoping to get maybe midsummer to start volunteering back, or volunteers are allowed back in the nursing homes. Once that happens, we can get our existing teams back working. We also have 3 teams right now at Sylvan Learning Center, which we're very proud of. I have a couple other venues facilities that I'm in discussion with. I'm hoping, and we're kind of had to put, a stop on that for right now, only because of COVID. And then once their restrictions and protocols start lifting, I think we'll be able to add some more facilities, because we're trying to think out of the box and think of who all can benefit from a therapy team in their facility.
So if you guys know anybody who a therapy team might benefit them, go ahead and give us a call. And we do have a page on the website. If you just go to preciousk9s.com and you go to our therapy page, it goes down and it talks a little bit about what she's talking about, and then it does talk about having us in your facility and what benefits it could do. So if you have somebody you want to take this to, show them that website page and show them what the benefits are and the things that we might do with them.
So I don't know, are there any questions up there?
I saw
some
people
comments.
checking in and thumbs up in, and let's see. There's Casey. She says, thanks for sharing all the information. Now, Casey's one of our ones that's been excited to get the therapy program started back up. I know the one thing that I really kind of want to talk about is, for those of you that have been training for the last year because you're waiting for the therapy program, we are going to put the therapy prep and hopefully the dogs with a job up probably late August, early September is typically whenever we do that. And so as far as prerequisites, we don't typically, it's very rare that we let someone just come from another training company straight into our therapy program. We have done that in the past, and because of our different style of training and the requirements that we have, our requirements are highlight pet partners requirements. They, some therapy programs around are, we've got a happy dog, it doesn't pull super bad, we've got, we teach you about body language, we teach you how to get out of yucky scenarios. I mean, there's bad situations. We've had situations where people have grabbed onto the dogs and won't let go, and you have to know how to handle that. So we do have a pretty rigorous program, and a lot of you are taking, just all of our classes to try to get better. But for those of you that either haven't started with us and are thinking about doing therapy, or you're interested in what do I need to do now to be ready for therapy in September, you'll start with, for those of you that haven't done any training, you'll start with just one of our level 1 classes. If you've done some training somewhere, you can call us and we can see if you're ready for our level 2 class. Our Teamwork Through Games is a really good class because it has you do all of your basics in real life time, because you've got to do them faster because this is real life. So that makes it help you towards therapy and just towards real life stuff. And then we have tricks, and we require tricks for almost every single upper level thing that we do, because tricks teaches you to work with your dog and gives you the mechanics. You can come out of a level 1 and 2 class and feel like, oh, I can really get my dog to do this, but could you get your dog to go around calmly around like an IV roller? Could you get them to do it really calmly? And so the tricks teaches you how to maneuver your dog close to you and quickly and efficiently with hind end awareness and not just, gangliness and wildness. So the tricks class is important, and she's going to do a little tricks demo on things that she would use in therapy. Rally obedience, super important. All of our therapy teams have been through our previous rally classes, and now we've got Sarah teaching the rally, and it's just even better because we've got so much more room. So rally obedience, it teaches you how to work your dog tightly walking around your body and keep their attention for longer periods of time. We do have a class called Dogs About Town that we were doing every 6 months. We did it last fall and it went great, but we had to shut it down last spring because of obvious reasons. But we just meet 6 different places in town, and we work on getting the dogs to focus with those high distractions. It's a great class for people who want to do therapy to take. It is on the calendar. And then of course the 123 CGC, it was 3 weeks long, that's what it's called, 123, but I don't know if we need to rename it 1-2-3-4, but it's gonna be 4 weeks long. And we are actually upping doing that a couple times a year instead of once a year because of demand. So me and Lisa have talked about getting that on the calendar here pretty quick. So we typically do one right after our therapy class. So if you go through the therapy and you're like, I want to get my CGC, that class is directly after. You can always call us and say, okay, I'm ready to take my Canine Good Citizen test. We recommend that you know what the items are on the test, because we have had some people show up that didn't know what the CGC test was, and that's okay. Information, not everybody can know everything, but make sure you've gone to akc.org and you found out what the 10 items are. They have videos that you can watch, or you can take one of our classes to learn that. We also have private coaching, so you can get a hold of us and take that CGC. And so I guess that kind of gives you guys a progression, whether you haven't started with us or whether you've been taking classes with us, on what the process is to get into our therapy program. We do, like she said, with the therapy prep, you have to pass that to be able to go into the on-site Dogs with a Job, and you have to pass both sections to be able to apply and be approved to be a certified therapy team by Precious K9s. So like I said, there is a process. You do have to have your Canine Good Citizen. Once you've done all 8 weeks of those classes and gotten your Canine Good Citizen, then obviously we'll look at your application and see if we need more work, if we're ready to be a Precious K9s team. So is that enough talk, or do we have?
I wanted to say, yeah, I did, only in that to be a Precious K9s therapy team, your dog must be 18 months of age or older. And we set 18 months because dogs change at 18 months. And one thing that we go through a lot in therapy prep, because we're one-on-one with you and going through scenarios, we look at your dog's behaviors and temperament. And sometimes it's just not enough for your dog to be friendly with everybody, or I take her to grandma's, she's at such and such place and we go there every Sunday. That's visiting grandma's house. That's not visiting the home and everybody. So there's a lot of training that goes into it. Sometimes the nicest dog just isn't cut out to be a therapy dog. So we look at that a lot. You might have expectations when you go that I want to visit nursing homes. That's what I want to do. And your dog may not be cut out for that. I had to go through that with Megan. I thought we'd be at hospital, ICU units. That was my thing. That's what I wanted to do. I soon found out that she's not cut out for that sort of environment. So you may want to work with seniors. Maybe your dog doesn't like adults, but they love kids. The other way around. So you have to be open to that as far as what niche you're going to find yourself in.
So we'll help you find that as we go. When you're working in the class, we'll be like, hey, your dog really liked that, or okay, we need to think, do we need a different type of environment for your dog?
Right, and so when they get to 18 months, you can pretty much see what they're going to be and if they're going to change or go into that terrible twos. So that's why we set that age limit. There's not an age limit for the class, but just you may not be quite ready to go out on your own even after passing the first section and doing well in the second. So that's why we kind of put that kind of limitation on there. So you realize your dog needs to grow up a little bit. Megan was older when we started, so she was actually 4 years old when we actually started visiting, and she still had a lot of growing up to do because she's a boxer and she's a lab. Put those together, it's like Peter Pan, they never grow up. So it's just something you have to be aware of too, and that's why we talk about all the classes. Megan and I are starting to rally again Saturday. We continually train and take classes, and it just helps you with your teamwork. So just because you make it as a therapy team doesn't mean you quit training, because it's just something that we're always doing.
Yep, the training never stops.
Never does.
I love this new facility because we've got training for you and your dog for your dog's entire life now. So depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to move the chairs aside, and Megan's going to do a little bit of her tricks that she might do on a therapy visit.
You ready to work? Megan knows a ton of tricks, but you know, with therapy, it's a little different. We don't do a lot of tricks, although people at the Victim Center, when it's really quiet there, you know, the staff might get a little trick show once in a while, more advanced tricks. But for the most part, you know, we need to do tricks that are close to us, because remember, she's not on a leash now, but I have her on a 6-foot leash. So it has to be something that we can do close to my body, something that I never lose control of her, and we need to wake her up here.
It's time to wake up, Megan.
Megan, you're right. Okay, jump up. So these can be very simple tricks, but I use shake and high fives a lot. And we have little trading cards that we hand out to the kids especially, but a lot of grown-ups that have them too. And on the back it has their favorite tricks. And so on there, you know, we have shake and high fives. And the kids get those and they say, oh, I want to do shake. Can I do some tricks with Megan? And so shake and high five are something, she's not obviously on a pedestal, but I can sit with my leash back here, and I can have the child in front of me, and I'll tell them, okay, tell her to sit, and of course they always yell sit, right? They never say it softly, and Megan sits. But I can stand here and say, okay, put out your right hand and say shake, shake, yes. And then I can say, oops, I'm so sorry. And then I can say, okay, put out your left hand and say paw, paw. And she'll do that. And they think that's really cool, because all of a sudden they're a dog trainer, right? Then you can go, okay, put out your left hand and say high five, high five. Yes. And right hand, high five. So we can do that. And so the kids really like that. And it's something that I can do with them if we have time. With COVID, it's been a little different because we haven't spent that really one-on-one time with them, but they can still hug and kiss her and do all that. Another one we might do, let's see. She's going to start offering all her big tricks now. Okay. Oh, we have to do your best. Sorry, that left you up. Okay. Nursing homes especially, you know, she does, we might see a veteran, and we'll say, give him a salute. Yes, nice salute. Another one, very good. And they love that, and we've actually gotten compliments because we go right to right, which was very special, and we had to relearn all that. So, salute. No, that's right. Stop. Salute. Yes. And then we'll say, wait, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes. So that's always a good one to do, especially if you're leaving a group of people, or maybe the kids are kind of upset because they have to leave Megan. We can do a bye-bye or some tricks. Another one that I can do on a leash close to me, I can put Megan behind me. Hey,
Where are you going?
Where are you going? Over here. Wait. Peekaboo. Yes. Ta-da. And do a bow. That's always a good one. Very good. Probably her cutest trick that she does. You're going to go see Carrie's like, she's making me
Go get
run.
Mom.
Come on. This is her night-night. It's our variation of play dead. I try to tone it down for working with victims. You know, you don't want to use like the normal bang bang or anything. So we changed it to night-night. Come here. Bye-bye. Wake, still asleep. Up, still asleep. Wake up. Good job. And that's always a real crowd pleaser. So that's some examples of things that we might do on a therapy visit and using her tricks.
Very good. Awesome. All right, well, we will see you guys next time with our next trainer spotlight. Again, this is Lisa. She will be your head trainer for Tricks 1, Tricks 2, and the therapy program whenever you come join us. And sometimes you might get to see her assisting in some of Lucretia's level 1 and level 2 classes. So thanks for watching today. Pass this on to your friends that want to do therapy. Just share, share, share. You can also go to our YouTube channel and get some of our training techniques at preciousk9s.com and give us a call if you have any questions.
Thanks,
See you guys
everybody.
later.
Thank you.
Later.